before we continue, I just want to let you guys know to hear this particular funny, Toadsworth's voice every time you spray at him. Man, that is so adorable. One more time. Oh my god, that is so hilarious, and it's like, oh man. Anyway, hey, what is up everyone? I am Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm back for some more of yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube. So, last time we have managed to continue exploring through Peanut Park, while able to actually gather some more Shine Sprites, and after all that stuff though, we did manage to rescue Yoshi for the forms of the, you know, Shadow Mario and stuff like that, and also we've managed to finally obtain not only the Turbo Nozzle, but also the Rocket Nozzle in the forms of Delfino Plaza. So this means we can now be able to do more things in Junior forms of the ginormous hub world, so that way we can able to do it from there. But of course, before we're not going to get onto the forms of more missions in Journey forms of Delfino Plaza anytime soon, just because, well, obviously we need to take care of the forms of other missions first. So, yeah, today for this episode in particular is the fact that we might actually go into not one, but two worlds for this point today. Because, in addition to returning back onto Peanut Park, just for the sake of the forms of likely, well, first of all, we need to go ahead and just revisiting back onto the forms of episode 2, specifically the second mission on this world, for the final time. This is because, about the fact the matter is though, is the fact that in order to actually get the blue coins in this world, well, we've already gathered 20 of them at the moment during the forms of the actual amusement park itself, but to gather the 10 more of those blue coins, we need to do multitasking, such as, of course, some of these basket cages cannot be opened unless if you try to guide the bullet bill right near to the actual the basket container itself. So that way, it'll deals the amount of the explosions and stuff like that. So even then, I have no idea why I intend to do that method, honestly. I know I was gonna do the bomb kind of method, but I don't know if I can able to do that, just because, well, I haven't really tested out for myself. And second of all is the fact that, well, I just feel like that it might be a little bit too slow when it comes to distances or what have you. So, plus it'll be a waste of time if we're able to actually utilize the bomb. So that way we can able to actually just to gather all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, in addition to able to actually just gather ourselves 10 more of those, well, at the moment right now, we actually got about 24 of those blue coins at the moment. So naturally speaking, we've got 6 more left. So in addition to able to grabbing those final few sets of those blue coins, in addition with those, we also managed to able to decide to go through the 100 coin mission. Well, specifically the 100 coin Shine Sprites that we need to take care of, and then also trying to able to conclude Peanut Park. Sorry for a little bit of a my throat issues at the moment, just because, well, I just woke up in the morning, and as a result that every time when I woke up in the morning, sometimes my voice gets a little bit jinxed up. No, you're not doing this to me, game. You're not doing this to me. I guess that 1-up is about to be gone away, and I'm sure enough, it just almost got out of bounds for this little wall right there, so that's pretty stinks. But anyway though, yeah, we're about to be, well, first of all, we need to focusing on the blue coins first, and after the blue coins, then we can able to actually focusing on the last thing, the next thing we need to take care of is, of course, the 100 coin Shine Sprites, which I think the bestest method for able to actually doing this in Peanut Park is the fact— whoa, holy cow, look how much damage I've got. Anyway though, the best method to able to grind for the 100 coins, as you can clearly see on screen, we're obviously going to be playing through the episode 2 portion, and whoa, that was close. And thankfully though, this is the last blue coin to able to deal with the actual basket kind of syndrome, because after we've done with that, I'm pretty sure the final 2 blue coins are going to be somewhere on that specific sandy part, so even then I will hopefully trying to able to actually find the last 2 blue coins for sure, but I'm probably not going to spend most of my blue coins at the moment, just for the sake of the forms of likely, due to the fact that we'll discuss more about it until in any moment's notice. So, Anyway, as far as the blue coins on this area, as you can see, I highly recommend you able to actually just try to aim for the homing bullet bills as far as I'm aware. Not these golden ones, but to be more accurate, when it has like a red little nose keeps flashing. So even then though, because the regular bullet bills just keeps on straighting straight forward, but the ones you need to recommend you do is the fact that you need to guide the actual homing bullet bills, specifically those purple ones. That way we can able to actually guide them super easily to able to actually get onto the actual basket cage itself. So even then though, that makes it a little bit obvious for that specific solutions that we can think of, and even then though, that might be seems a little bit more time consuming for trying to able to go for these blue coins and stuff like that, but either way I'm just practically gonna do this for the sake of 100%ing this particular Let's Play as a result. So anyways, this is the last time we actually doing this kinds of methods, but for now, we got about 2 more blue coins to go. So even then though, and those last 2 are gonna be on the sandy part. So even then though, we need to find a mark that is specifically dedicated to that kind of sound effects going around here. So even then though, when you do manage to find it, specifically the actual blue line of that specific Shine Sprite shape, so even then though, when you do manage to find those, can you just... Okay, there we go. I think we're getting there. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. If you do manage to find any kinds of shapes like these, basically you would able to gather it to yourselves as the actual blue coin. So even then though, I think the final blue coin is going to be on the exact same spot. Well, usually in a different spot, but in a similar method. So either way though, once again we need to spray at this particular another blue line of the actual Shine Sprite shape. And there we go, we gathered all the blue coins in the Pinna Park. So even then, now we need to mainly focusing on the 100 coin Shine Sprite. But then again, the bestest method I can think of is the fact that despite with my water tank is almost going to be running low, the best method for this is the fact that we need to take down all kinds of bullet bills that, thankfully though, it doesn't matter how many bullet bills you're going to be killing for, but every time you're able to actually kill new bullet bills, as you can see, usually relatively speaking, you can get a whole bunch of coins. Like for instance, that if they still respawn during the actual cannon side of things, thankfully though, they all manage to contain the coins inside. So even then though, that way, I think it always happens in every single time whenever you're trying to able to do this kind of method. Sure, it might be a little bit slow, but until whenever we get onto Gelato Beach, on the other hand though, oh man, it will be something else entirely. But then again, we'll point it out whenever we get back onto the forms of Gelato Beach, for not only just trying to able to grind for ourselves the last few blue coins, but also trying to able to do probably the most tedious 100 coin Shine Sprite in the whole entire game, but for the sake of coincidence that it might not be fun. But I digress. So, obviously, as you guys should already know, is the fact that obviously this is uploaded during today on Saturday because, well, as to be expected, as you probably guys should already know, that recently Silver the Hedgehog has recently finished up with this entire Let's Play of Rayman Raving Rabbits recently during last Sunday. So I don't think there isn't any of those weekend projects we're going to be focusing on at this point right about now. But even then though, at least we can able to actually just to catch up for more of some parts of this, and especially noticeable and during tomorrow that Piglet will definitely get back onto Yoshi's Crafted World, so just in case he needs to catch up. So even then though, everything else will be more relative more than anything. So even then though, I think that makes it more consumption throughout. You can also grab some more coins due to the forms of that bomb, but I'm probably not going to do that too much because, well, for one noticeable thing, I found it was a little bit of a time waster to deal with, and second, that I think to me the bullet bill method is probably the bestest method to go through, even if you really want to go for the rare yellow ones, which actually send out even more coins accordingly speaking. But, well, usually the only downside about trying to go for these coin Shine Sprites, if you will, specifically if you're trying to deal with those bullet bills, as you can see on screen, that every once in a while though is the fact that one of these normal coins will attempt to disappear for about 5 seconds to react. So yeah, that's a little bit of a nitpick, but as long as you keep on doing that method, then you would able to do it just okay. So Although, relatively speaking, is the fact that I would normally try to able to utilize with the actual music video in the background, just to make the actual tedious, tedious method out of the way. But unfortunately, for the sake of time, is the fact that one thing is kind of bugging me when it comes to Roxo Video Wave editing software is the fact that it doesn't allow me to able to put in several music backgrounds when it comes to doing this method, and then I have no idea what I'm gonna do when it comes to doing with all these video effects, or even the actual speed, if you will. I know it's definitely in there, but I've never actually getting used to it, because otherwise though, I might as well able to actually get someone else's eye visions might go all over the place. So, oh dang it, 1 coin left, but regardless of such, we got it. Whew. That was a lot of hard work right there, even though it took me about 10 minutes for not just by the forms of trying to able to actually just to God forbid trying to able to, well, I would try to celebrate this while simply able to hatch Yoshi out of the egg, but we'll do it at some point later down the road whenever we get back onto Bianco Hills, because I say that because, well, I'm sure most people already know about this at this point, because even then we'll discuss more about it whenever we head back onto Bianco Hills. So for right now though, we've managed to accomplish the first ever 100 coin Shine Sprite mission in the whole game. And then just like in Super Mario 64, as you can see on my lives count, for somehow reason, it's the fact that every time when I do that, although before I get into that however though, let's just now dive right into the next mission in Pinna Park. Episode 7, Shadow Mario in the Park. So this means that the final 2 missions of this particular world is going to takes place most notably in the amusement park itself. So hopefully we'll try to deal with Shadow Mario for the 4th time, well, generally speaking when it comes to the actual mission structure. Well, at least technically speaking, we've already dealt with him for about, I don't know how many times we did manage to beat the likes out of him, but either way though, oh, son of a gut biscuit. Anyway, yeah, apart from those side of things, though, is the fact that, well, usually just like in Super Mario 64 with the actual life system, well, usually when it comes to getting those coins, once again, you would able to actually get yourselves extra lives with not only if you're able to collect 50 coins, but 100 coins as well. So even then, though, it behaves exactly like how it did in Super Mario 64, so basically everything else is pretty much unchanged, apart from the fact that unlike in Super Mario 64, that if you try to do the 100 coin Power Star mission, well, it doesn't matter what episodes you're going to be going into, as long as you will be alright and such. What makes this a little bit different from this game this time around is the fact that you have to choose specific episodes in order to be able to do the 100 coin Shine Sprite. So if you're not a big fan of the setup and prefer the Super Mario 64 route, well, unfortunately seem to tell you, tough luck, because otherwise you have to choose the specific episodes in order to actually do it properly, because if you select the wrong episode, then it's not going to be possible to able to complete these kinds of tasks like so. But that's why I get the feeling for that point, and there's also a reason why I choose episode 2 mission rather than any kind of missions for that matter, because I'm might as well able to come across into lesser amounts of enemies more than the forms of the bullet bills themselves. That's my personal theory anyway. But anyways, let's head back onto the cannon for the final time, and let's head on to the final mission in Pinna Park. Episode 8, Roller Coaster Balloons. And once again, we're going to take place on the actual amusement park itself, except, well, we'll point it out whenever we get inside, because, well, most people seem to think that this is probably the second hardest mission in the whole game, and probably number 1 for me though, but then again, we'll talk more about it whenever we get onto it later. As you can see, we have ourselves these very pink looking balloons that shapes pretty much exactly similar to Bowser Jr.'s face. And what can we do about them? Well, we can't burst them for ourselves, because instead we need to make our way. Sorry for a little bit of a tangent right there. Yeah, we need to make our way to the roller coaster itself, and then if you manage to make your way to this particular point right there, then you do realize about the fact that we have we have a challenge to take care of. Mario, can you stop stepping onto those nukies right there? Anyway, welcome to the grand reopening of the roller coaster. We've got a balloon popping water rockets going on here. If you want to try, if you can hit all of the balloons within water rocks, or water rockets I should say, before the roller coaster makes for about 3 loops. So if you manage to do it, then the prize will be rewarded, such as the Shine Sprite. Now here's the real challenge of this particular thing right here, is the fact that ever since we've already done this roller coaster sequences ever since in Mecha Bowser fight, except the noticeable difference is now is the fact that rather than just trying to able to exactly aim at Mecha Bowser, instead we have to aim for those pink Bowser Jr. balloons, and there are 20 of them in total. So in order to actually complete this though, is the fact that, well, obviously you need to pop all of them before you're able to actually go on to 3 laps or more, because if you go on to loop number 4, then it's pretty much game over for you. So even then though, you have to pop all of the balloons within a certain amount of times. So even then though, like, for instance, I pretty much popped 9 so far, whereas I need to pop another one here, so that makes up to 10 so far. So even then though, you can also do another method by simply trying to able to aim for between balloons, so that way you can able to get an opportunity to get best shots, as you can see right there. So now we're on to lap 2, so even then though, we should be okay for the most part though, but the ones it's a little bit too tricky for most casual players is of course the 3rd and the final lap. Which means about the fact that if the actual sequence has been over with and done with, well, again, if you manage to make it onto lap 4, well, you can't continue on lap 4, because otherwise you'll lose a life. So, and also, much like Super Mario 64, you'll be instantly get kicked out of the level rather than just have an option to try again, unlike, you know, Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, and even especially noticeable with Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World, despite those games are pretty much plays out exactly similar to those 2D Mario games in that respect. Oh, direct shot. That's pretty cool in my opinion. And does that usually count? Oh, there goes another one. And yeah, I get a feeling that we've only got 2 balloons left, so hopefully we'll get chances for this one here. And we've only got 1 more balloon left, so I'm really hoping we can able to do this on the first attempt, which, truth be told for this point guys, I'm actually doing this on the first attempt straight off the bat. So even then though, things all go pretty good for the most part though, but then again, most other casual players might get a little bit of struggle with this mission, as you can see. But as soon as you pop all the balloons, well, for whatever reason, they just keep showing this exactly the same sequence as in whenever you're trying to get inside the amusement park, but I'm guessing that they're just for the sake of respawning stuff. So, you did it! And as you can see, the balloons reset, which as far as I can definitely see that. So come back and try again anytime, which I probably won't do that, just because we obviously need to aim for the Shine Sprite itself. So even then though, that pretty much takes care of everything in terms of Peanut Park World. So yeah, you might be thinking to yourselves about the fact that since we got ourselves 8 normal episodes, Shine Sprites, and 2 secret Shine Sprites on that world, and another one that actually leads us to the 100 coin Shine Sprites, there are about 11 of those Shine Sprites in total per world. Not just any of those kinds of stuff, but to be more accurate, 11 Shine Sprites total in each world. So naturally speaking, there's going to be a lot of multitasking for this point. So yeah, that's how that trying to 100% this game can get pretty, well, traumatizingly backtracking-ish, while at the same time it might be a little bit of a busy work. So anyways, now we're done with Peanut Park, as I said before. Let's head back onto Bianco Hills for the final time for not only just trying to able to get ourselves the final few of those blue coins, but also, take a guess, we're gonna have to go for the actual 100 coin Shine Sprite challenge. So even then though, again, it's a little bit time consuming, but as long as you get the hang of it though, I think it will be okay for the most part though. But then again though, the only thing is usually worth mentioning is the fact that unlike in Super Mario 64 is the fact that every time you grab the normal yellow coin, it just simply gives you just 1 coin. but then if you grab like 2 red coins, it obviously gives you 2, and then I believe the blue ones actually give you about 5. So that's not the case this time around for this game in particular. So yeah, the actual alternative thing we can only do is the fact that we have to able to actually just to go after the normal yellow coins to top it off. I don't know if the red coins were able to count your coins counter, but I'm pretty sure if I've noticed something, it doesn't usually count on my coins counter, I'm afraid. So even then, that makes it a little bit more obvious for that point. So yeah, a few things that's been going on for this point recently is the fact that, well, obviously, since that we're pretty much almost at the halfway point of this game already, probably because of how the fact that since after all we did manage to accomplish, well, specifically the 100% complete in terms of one world so far, and that is of course Peanut Park. But now we're going to be heading on back onto this world for the final time, as I stated that before. And then hopefully, whenever we're done with that particular world, I think during it at some point on next Monday, I can probably go ahead and deal with the forms of 2 of those remaining worlds to 100% on, such as Recco Harbor, especially because now we actually finally got ourselves Yoshi in our hands. So even then, that could be expected for discussion for in a later day and time. And also same applies to Gelato Beach for specifically trying to grab one specific blue coin that only requires Yoshi to do that, especially because of how the fact that, well, you know these little yellow gluey stuff? In order to actually get rid of these kinds of stuff is the fact that you always have to recommend Yoshi in order to actually just well, make it happen, obviously, because if you somehow don't have Yoshi with you, then you might end up have to able to go onto Peanut Park, and then trying to complete episode 4, and then that way you would be able to actually just get a chance so that you can able to just, well, have a nice little real fun ride with Yoshi. So even then, that makes it a little bit obvious for that simple answer. In fact, kind of thinking about it though, is the fact that what makes it super weird is that today, or especially for the majority of our channel so far, Piglet is doing a Yoshi game, and I'm doing a Mario game, so that makes Mario and Yoshi together. So that seems pretty weird, but even then, I'm pretty much getting used to it, so yeah, the only annoying thing about this this level in particular for me though, when it comes to getting the 100 coin Shrine Sprite, is the fact that, you know, these little flower bits, they just keep showing up. Well, in order to actually just to get some more coins, as you can clearly see, you need to perform some sort of like a spin spray, which in order to actually just to do that is the fact that once you spin around quite a few times and press the R button in some sort of like a timing kind of way. I'm not exactly sure of how I was trying to explain about this, honestly, guys, because I know it's been such a long while since I actually did manage to touch this game after all. So either way, let's blast off from here to get ourselves the next blue coin. That is usually pretty simple to find, so even then we could expect this much. So anyways though, let's go ahead and try to able to flatten this particular pokey kind of enemy. Again, I don't know exactly what these names are, but then again, I'll try to able to research as much of those enemies as much as I can. Well, I've already noticed some of these enemies basically, like those bloopers, as well as Cataquacks, that we can't normally kill them unless that I'll discuss more about it until likely during the forms of next Monday. So that again, as I said before, that I probably should explain that later. So anyways, let's go ahead and get rid of this particular circular kind of graffiti around here. So even then, we can expect to get ourselves another blue coin that's usually on the back side of this house. Well, to be more accurate, on that building over there. And yeah, that's everything else should be going for the most part though. Yeah, as you can see, sometimes I always attempt to have a lot of struggles with this particular technique sometimes, because I swear I was going to be able to be extremely accurate with all these kinds of flowers to spray on. You can also utilize the actual different camera angle, as you can clearly see, that I might have some sort of an easier time with, but not so much on this area, unfortunately, because you have to be exactly trying to rotate and then spray at the same time. So, but then again, it might take a lot of practice if you really want to do that specific technique, like I was just about to try to do. and especially noticeable how the fact that it will take me a lot of tries to able to actually succeed by this point. So I definitely noticed on Cap King 74's portion of this is the fact that sometimes the only thing that he always attempts to do every time whenever he finishes the actual main missions, obviously he's trying to able to save the blue coins for later rather than just trying to collect them throughout the majority of this Let's Play, because it's pretty understandable because of how the fact that most people seem to get lost track of themselves whenever they're trying to able to 100% this game completely. So, okay, so there goes another... No! Why did I just miss that one coin? And it just disappeared like nothing else. So, that's kind of, stupid thing to do. Anyway, though, yeah, aside from those side of things, though, is the fact that that way it doesn't get anyone else confused of where the blue coins are located. I usually kind of think about it, though, is the fact that White Teddy did manage to get that specific system back in 2014, which is roughly about 6 years ago. But unfortunately, the old original Let's Play of that game is no longer there, just because we need to improve the quality and the commentary at the same time. And plus, another thing is the fact that I feel like the editing department, especially noticeable when it comes to likely with those music videos has been playing through, when it comes to grinding for more of those blue coins, as well as the 100 coin shine spray at the same time. I really don't know if our views count is actually increasing upwards, especially because, well, I think it's pretty obvious because of how the fact that the actual commentary was really quiet. So, but thankfully though, for this rendition of this Let's Play, you can now able to hear not only for the sake of my commentary, but also during the actual game audio as well. So at least I appreciate about that specific stuff. So. But I digress. So anyways, let's go ahead and take that pair all the way up to the beginning spot of the actual level, so that way we can now able to experience Yoshi on the specific Bianco Hills level. So here's a good thing too that we did manage to get ourselves Yoshi in this for the sake of this world, because there is actually the actual beehives that we can able to actually just to get rid of. By all these, by that, well, if you try to able to spray it, or spray it with the water or juice as what you're trying to ride on Yoshi, then this is what happens right there. If you manage to able to knock down the beehive, the bees might actually go after you. So as a result, it's a pretty good way you can able to actually grind for some more coins, as you can clearly see. And especially noticeable how the fact that, thankfully though, it does manage to give me another extra life. So you can expect to see about the fact that I'm going to be constantly grinding through a lot of those extra lives, as you can clearly see. But anyways, let's go ahead and eat some more bees. And while at the same time, no, I need some coins. Stupid bees. Anyway, now, so let's go ahead and just grab some more coins. I think in this particular moment, as you can see right there, despite we've now actually got ourselves the 100 coin shine sprite right about now. But if we do manage to eat this last bead, specifically this one, then we get ourselves another blue coin. So yeah, how's that for that? And we still off by 4 blue coins left. And then hopefully we would be able to catch up when it comes to likely just trying to 100% through everything. So that's something else. Usually kind of, I don't know. I do apologize with my commentaries a little bit off at this point, but usually, relatively speaking, that's what happens most of the time. So anyways, let's go ahead and find the blue butterfly, so that way we can able to eat that thing up. And that way we can get ourselves the, what else? Another blue coin. So, and also if you're trying to eat the green butterfly, it actually gives you an extra one up. Which thankfully it wasn't nearly as annoying as the ones how it does it in Peanut Park, because we did manage to done it before on Peanut Park, but unfortunately though, it seems it's almost nearly go clipped for the actual wall. I'm guessing it's probably because most certain 1-ups seems to go a little bit further away from us sometimes, which can be the same applies onto, you know, Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, for example, that when you're trying to go for these bonus rooms, as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, that's usually something else. But anyways, let's go ahead and... I'm afraid we need to leave Yoshi for here for now on, because I believe the final 2 blue coins, or the next 2 blue coins I should say, is going to be on somewhere in the water. So, but then again, the actual process, I will admit though right away, the processing of trying to find those blue coins can get pretty tedious at times, especially if you don't know the game already. Well, good luck trying to finding them, because most of your time, you're going to be spending most of your time trying to able to get lost in these particular worlds sometimes, especially if you really want to know where the blue coins are. So even then though, that's a little bit annoying, but aside from all that stuff though, at least if you know what to do, I suggest if you're able to try to buy the guide of the game, and that way you can able to find yourselves the rest of the blue coins from that way. But still, if you really want to go through other Let's Players or something like that, then more power to you, because that way you would able to actually make your experience of this a little bit easier for ourselves, or for yourselves I should say. So yeah, that's how it goes basically. So yeah, you know how I didn't exactly mention more details specifically in yesterday's video? Probably because of how the fact that, well, I'm just a little bit too quiet ever since during new forms of yesterday's part. And I do realize about the fact that I felt sorry for Piglet for able to realize is the fact that the E3 this year is definitely cancelled due to coronavirus issue, which, well, I think it makes it a little bit obvious for this point, especially noticeable that for the love of God, people, just be safe, because that way, if you're not safe, however, though, well, yeah, it's gonna be a tough life, isn't it? Especially how the fact that the coronavirus is now even much spreading and stuff, and then, oh man, it just gets ridiculous, man. It just gets really ridiculous. But I digress. Sorry for the little bit of belchiness, I'm afraid, guys, because then again, I'm just busy eating some more chili dogs, and then as a result, yeah, I just feel like the fastest hedgehog, of course. So anyway though, so let's just go ahead and I think we've only got about one more blue coin left. So hopefully when we get that done, then we can assure to you we can able to actually wrap things up with Bianco Hills as well. So yeah, eventually whenever we gone through the oh jeez, we need some more juice for Yoshi. I don't want to let him die. Okay, there we go. Whew. Thankfully, these fruits do respawn on that specific placement, so at least that's something. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and I'm afraid we need to once again leave Yoshi behind for now on, because the final blue coin is gonna be somewhere on that particular tightrope sequence. Not just this one further ahead, but to be more accurate, if we try to wall jump from these little things itself, then we need to go all the way from here, because as you can tell, there's a bluebird there. So even then, once again, just like in Gelato Beach that we technically already done, but this time around though, it takes place in Bianco Hills. So yeah, so you have to keep on spraying at this bluebird. So that way, if we do manage to spray at him for about quite a few times, then you would able to get yourselves a nice blue coin that I think it's been dropped in, I have no idea where the placement is though. Is it down here? Oh yes, it's down there. And look at that, we got 100 blue coins and 100 coins. Well, to be more specifically, normal coins itself. But hey, it's kind of cool actually. Well, the only missing feature is of course 100 shine sprites, but of course we can't get to those just yet though. Just because we've only just got started right here, so even then though, yeah, that's how it goes basically. So anyways, Bianco Hills is fully completed now, so even then though, we can now move on to these two worlds I need to hit back onto, specifically Recco Harbor, as well as Gelato Beach, for just to take care of those two worlds for now. So even then though, I guess for the most part though, we're gonna have to end things off at this point here. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Sunshine. Specifically, will join me next time on, Monday for the forms of this game in general. Is the fact that we're about to be heading back onto Recco Harbor just to finish that particular world off, and Gelato Beach itself as well. So see you guys on Monday. Later, fellas.